Hello everybody, welcome back to the IEM Chicago 2018 qualifiers for the Asia region. It's the pointy end of things now, Ian. We've got to the grand finals and it's Flash versus MVP. The expected results, obviously Tyloo did forfeit their competition run here in the qualifiers, so it really did feel for a lot of it like a two-horse race.
Yeah, look, it feels like a cop-out to say the expected result, but at the end of the day, these guys are the top two probably without Tyloo being here.
Yeah.
We didn't expect SC Absolute to take it out over Boot, but at the end of the day, MVP really manhandled them. And that's why we say it's the expected result. We've gotten to the pointy end of the bracket, like you said, and now everything is starting to make sense. But
yeah.
Who wins this game? I think there's no way we can say clear, decisive victory for either team.
Definitely not. Speaking of the bracket, this is how it does look and how this entire qualifier has played out.
It's been a slog.
It's been a slog. There's been a few forfeits in there, but we've got there in the end. And unfortunately, we didn't get to watch Tyloo. I think that would have really thrown a bit of a spanner in the works here for either Flash or MVP.
I also like watching Tyloo. They're a really exciting team to watch.
Yep.
They're fast-paced. They're in your face. You know, they don't. If they make mistakes, they just somehow manage to make up for them.
Xcurate.
Yeah,
I love watching Xcurate with the AWP.
Well, you do. You're an Xcurate fan. I'm
yep.
a DD somebody Mo, the trio.
The trio, the original.
And just seeing them, how they really just get in your face.
Well, see, I think the thing for me is because I watched Zen League for 2 seasons, I watched Ben Ted and Xcurate come through from Rekka and
yeah, of
start
course.
to kind of
hey, I was there too.
gain that fame and that kind of thing. But anyway, that's another story. Tyloo's not playing in this. It's Flash up against MVP. Now, last night, MVP did have to forfeit their game against Flash,
yeah,
which was a little unfortunate. They were playing another competition at the time.
It was like a double burn, right? They lost their qualifying match against CyberZen,
yep.
and then they got put in the loser bracket where they could have been eliminated from the IEM Chicago qualifiers.
Yeah, when they could still get eliminated as a result of that because they do have that one map disadvantage.
But now it also could be a blessing in disguise.
Why do you say that?
Well, they've got all their cards close to their chest.
Okay.
Flash won't have versed them once already, but they might not have. They've not versed Flash either. But it works both ways. I think if we had seen them face off earlier on in the bracket, we would be able to say like, oh, well, look what happened last time. This could happen again. But
none of that
instead,
this time.
We're just going to say, well, MVP have been in hot form. They've been qualifying for everything. FlashGaming haven't really done anything in quite a while. They've been choking out of brackets, you know. Now they're finally in a grand final, and it's because Tyloo forfeited and MVP
forfeited as well. Let's see if that's going to make a difference here, though. Let's not dilly-dally around. Time to have a look at what maps we're going to get here.
I mean, we know what maps we're going to see, right?
Well, Inferno, Case, Mirage. Have a look at that. The Asia Classic again. Dust 2 if we are lucky. Now, Train being the 5th map in that pool does mean that it's going to be the map that counts as the forfeit victory here for FlashGaming.
Dust 2.
Yeah. If we get to Dust 2.
I did say Overpass was left in by MVP in the last game.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't have to play Dust 2, saving something for this match. And all of a sudden, here it is.
Yeah, Nuke, fairly standard veto there for FlashGaming. No one seems to want to play Nuke against MVP.
Yeah, you'd be a madman or a fool or well, maybe an Aussie team.
Potentially. But anyway, Inferno, of course, you're going to see that one out from MVP. We know Flash does like to play that one. Case, we also just saw MVP playing that one against SC
Yeah,
Absolute.
I mean, your FlashGaming, you've just seen them play Inferno. You've just seen them play Cash.
Now, the situation here for Flash is that they just need to win 2 maps. It is a best of 5, but they have 1 map advantage, so they're looking for 3, where on MVP, they actually need to win 3 out of these 4 maps. So, a bit of a tougher ask for MVP than it is for Flash, but nonetheless, I still think it's anybody's game here.
Me too. I'm just looking at the maps now. I'm thinking clear and decisive victory for FlashGaming on Mirage. That's the way I'm looking at that.
Yep.
The other maps there early on, Inferno, I actually lean towards MVP despite, I think it says FlashGaming's going to start CT there. So I still think MVP maybe will pick this one up. Then we go into Cash, FlashGaming. They're a pretty solid outfit. That one definitely, that could go to FlashGaming. So we could be looking at a 2-1 or what would you say, a 3-1?
3-1, I guess, yeah.
Unless, you know, I see something special from MVP on Mirage. Their Mirage is pretty lackluster sometimes, especially their CT side. You can actually bully them pretty badly. Well, look, we'll wait and see. I feel like we're definitely going to get to see Mirage, though.
This is definitely going to be a cracker of a match, really. It's the top 2 teams in this competition, 2 of the top teams in the Asian region.
You know, we finally get to see these guys again.
Yeah. I'm sure we've got a lot of viewers that don't necessarily always tune into these Asian matches, but...
even if you do, like, you're hardly going to see an English stream for a FlashGaming game. No. So this will be a treat.
It's a bit of a treat, indeed. We see FlashGaming around every now and then.
Fancy Summer, Attacker.
They even went to the Boston Major, I think it was, at that time with Kaze.
Like, it's like the fallout from the original Tyloo when they went through all that lineup change mess where everyone was accusing everyone of kicking someone and whatever. So this is like what was going to be the second best team in China, and now they're finally here. It's taken a long time, though.
Well, are they necessarily the second best team? I guess they're definitely the second best team in China, but as far as the Asian region is concerned,
even that is like, because
actually,
Tyloo, CyberZen, so that's why Flash has been struggling so much. But I always really, really rate Attacker and Fancy. Yeah. So it's like maybe it's the other 3 guys in the team holding them back.
Maybe. I really was liking the way that the FlashGaming roster with Kaze did look. I thought he was pretty awesome to have a look at, but
I wasn't a big fan of that.
Anyway,
but
regardless,
that's just me.
That's the past.
I'm a pretty harsh critic, aren't I, Jordan?
Yeah, you are. But look, at the end of the day, we're in a new era of the FlashGaming. They've done that sort of Vici FlashGaming experiment.
Yeah,
and,
that's done.
Well, it's done in the sense that it's not the organization still partnered, but the players are still playing together. So they're, as far as I understand, they're kind of on loan from Vici for FlashGaming.
And that's good. You've been putting in all this time as 5. You don't want to throw that away.
No, certainly not. But here's an opportunity for FlashGaming to step up with a big result. This is the kind of a qualifier that MVP is used to winning. They do go to a lot of IEMs.
Well,
and when Tyloo's not there, it's MVP's time in the sun. They do get to play, but
it might be a weird thing to think about or a rare thing you hear. But could you consider MVP as onliners?
Look, I would have kind of called you crazy, but I think given the results recently
on LAN,
it might not be far from the truth. They have definitely always been consistent online.
It's totally foreign to think.
Well, you don't think about it like that, do you? You think MVP is a good team on LAN, but if you look back at their results, you look at how they did it, for example, IEM Sydney, ESL Pro League qualifiers, Zen League.
How good they were in 1.6.
Those kinds of things.
It's the same guys, like, beside obviously Zine and Mini Zeta, but it's like, now all of a sudden they just can't get anything done on LAN. They can't get out of groups. They can't take it to the big opponents. After this qualifier, depending on whether they make it or not, regardless, they're versing Virtus Pro at Zotac.
Yep.
That's going to be a true test. And, you know, if that doesn't work out, you're just going to have to give up on the MVP dream. I think it's time MVP arrived.
Yeah, well, we're waiting to see that still, aren't we? There's been murmurings and times where they've looked really, really good, but...
Look, they're literally the people's team. Everyone wants them to succeed.
Yeah. But, as of yet, they haven't really stepped out of that Asia region.
So for me,
to what Tyloo have done.
For me, my trio in this one is obviously Attacker, Fancy, and Lovey.
Well, you're going to have to hope that Attacker's going to get something done here. 1/3 of your trio is now dead in this round, and that's a blistering start, really, from MVP.
Yep. Absolutely, and I guess that's what you need, isn't it?
Now Zoking will be able to get 1 onto solo, so let's hold the press, not get too excited just yet. That's a good headshot out from Zeph.
Good crossfire.
Allows Zine to clean things up very, very easily, and it's just the last 2 players here for FlashGaming. Even if they do manage to find these frags, the timer starting to tick away, and MVP will take the pistol round.
And so they should as well. They're hot. They've just come out of a best of 3. They've been playing a lot. They played last night in the qualifiers, like we were saying, for Star Series. They lost to CyberZen. It was by the narrowest of margins, mind you. But now they're up against FlashGaming, another Chinese team. And they're going to have to come out strong here because FlashGaming have just been sitting and waiting around all night. They're not going to be exhausted or tired. They're going to be fresh. It works both ways. And, you know, the thing is, yeah, FlashGaming, they've had all night to prepare. They've had all night to do their homework, to watch, to recon.
To chill?
Well, to chill, yeah, sure. But these Chinese teams don't chill. They have no chill. There will be someone who watched every game MVP has played, feeding them information. Did Alex have the time to do that? Or not Alex, but, you know, Termy?
Termy? Nope. He would have been watching the last game against SC Absolute, I'm sure. He was in the server.
He was in the server, but watching and being in the server are 2 different things. You'd be happy to just sit that one out, I think, as a coach.
Quite a quick change up from MVP as they rotate over to the A site. Freeman has got an interesting position there in second mid, but it's only really going to net one frag for FlashGaming as MVP once again. They rotate back to the B-bomb site. A rotation was pulled by MVP for that little offensive toward top mid. It was Attacker, or sorry, Zoking, that went back over to A, but he's already on his way back to B. Still a chance here for FlashGaming, but the utility is coming across from MVP. We'll see if it makes a difference, however, as the aim seems to be on point in this round for the CT side.
Oh.
Zoking only able to get one. If he had two there, it could have changed this round. Lovey will deny the bomb plant. The CZ quite get the final frag there onto Zion, but a very expensive round for MVP.
Yeah, indeed. But we do know they love their MAC-10, so that was a bit scary, though. Coming down to a 1v1, as you said.
Yeah, especially only just against the Pistols.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's what these guys are known for. The Chinese teams are just ridiculous when it comes to that CZ. It might as well just be another gun. Just a really cheap AK. Just like we've been saying forever. And, you know, I don't think it's going to change.
Solo's just got the P250 as well, so really not putting money into this round at all, MVP, if they can avoid it.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a bit dicey, but, you know, you got to take into account that FlashGaming this round shouldn't have bought anything. And they haven't.
No, they certainly have not. Zion doing his usual thing.
None of this boot dreamscape business.
Summer goes down as well. So not much being put on the board here by FlashGaming. Obviously a little bit of damage across to most of the members on MVP as they all get rather low, but it's just that lack of the kill that means FlashGaming aren't quite going to be able to
Lack of the kill.
make this one too exciting.
Yeah. Well, you don't get extra points for putting everyone on single-digit HP, do you?
No.
It's not
Fortunately
like
for Flash.
not like other games where you get points just for doing damage. This is just all that matters is the kill.
So very, very successful anti-eco for MVP.
Yeah, looked like a bit of everyday business at the office.
Now, MVP have really liked going for the bonus round up against SC Absolute. Are they going to give FlashGaming a bit more respect here? Is there going to be the upgrade? Obviously, Solo's going to buy something.
Yeah, look, I think it'll be another bonus round. It'd be uncharacteristic of MVP to start upgrading their weapons, to show a lot of respect to FlashGaming as well. Keep in mind, you buy, you lose. You can't buy again. That's the whole point of the bonus round.
Yeah.
This way, they're afforded an extra gun round. Or, well, call it that.
Call it what you will.
Yeah.
It's the extra gun round if they win. That's really what it is. This is a technical pause, guys, for FlashGaming. So hopefully it doesn't last too long. We've had a few of them, but not too many. It's actually been generally pretty good here.
Generally over in a flash.
Haha.
Haha. Well. Chinese teams, huh?
I'm sure it's not easy with Chinese internet. I have been to China a couple of times and generally have struggled to get amazing internet.
Okay, but that's been in internet. That's been in hotels.
Yep.
You know, you go to an internet cafe, it's generally pretty good. And you know, I can't imagine
Flash is playing from an internet cafe?
No, well, that's what Vici Gaming was, wasn't it? That was
Vici has a house now, don't they?
No, but CyberZen is an internet cafe, I believe. But the FlashGaming guys, you know, they're probably all at home or maybe in a boot camp house or something.
I'm sure they'd have a team house.
And they would have good internet, trust me. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, look, China might be massive, but they don't have the same problem we have where they're spread out. They're all together, and when everything is close together, then it makes sense to have that infrastructure in place. So I've never heard someone say that the internet in China is terrible. It's just all you ever hear about is the Great Firewall of China.
Yeah.
Which you would think would be a problem for this, but I guess they are running Perfect World.
Well, CS, yeah, they have CS in China.
So because they didn't have Steam for so long, or I'm not sure how that worked out, but they couldn't buy things off Steam. You could have Steam, but you couldn't buy things.
Well, regardless, they would have had VPNs, I'm sure, if you're Flash gaming.
Well, VPNs, gaming on a VPN is just not cool.
Well, sometimes you have to do it.
But
we know a lot of these Asian teams do that.
Yeah, Mongols.
Mongols, yep. Fire up the VPN, try and make. You can sometimes get a bit of a better ping.
I feel like MVP definitely would be on a VPN.
Not sure what server they'd be playing on. Hong Kong, I think, was being thrown around a few times.
Yeah. I remember I tried connecting to Hong Kong when we were over there where were we? Was that Shanghai? No, it wasn't Shanghai, was it? Yeah, it was. Was it? No, Cyan. Anyway, Gee, it feels like a lifetime ago.
Definitely. Anyway, let's have a look at how this first gun round is going to play out, because Flash, they haven't had any success yet, but that was with the pistols.
I think Shanghai was MSI beat it. But anyway.
You'd know better than I would. You were there, I wasn't.
Yes, I was there.
It's not Beijing.
Something was in Beijing. I don't know if I think I've been to Shanghai, though. I'm not sure. It's one of those things.
When you're an international superstar Counter-Strike player, you just forget where you've been. Happens to me all the time as well.
Nah. Yeah. Now you've got me thinking when I should be watching the game. The org on Lovey. That's what I want to see. Like, what is that?
We saw
SC Absolute, I know.
Take, yep. And it was working pretty well.
Yep.
That was the SG, but...
Summer. Sitting at first oranges. Hasn't got any utility to delay this push from MVP.
Yeah, once again, the execute out onto the B bomb site. Summer does not need utility, apparently. So he'll get 2. Attacker also able to find 2. And that is the offensive falling apart for MVP. They didn't get the utility in the right spots. They threw it across, and now Zion is tasked with a clutch. And we know what kind of a powerful player Zion can be. Lovey is going to cause some problems, and Freeman comes in around the side, but that was winnable for Zion if he got the headshot onto Freeman.
He's done a bit of damage anyway, so that's good. Looking into the next one, they'll be able to buy, no problem. Solo's a little bit broke, considering he had a pistol for that round. Interestingly enough, Mini Zeta will have enough for an AWP. Zion also, yeah, he's got lots of money as well. So far, so good. FlashGaming win the first gun round. Now, it's important they don't get reset here. We always talk about it. Don't want to carry on like a... Well, flog it like a dead horse, I guess.
Beat it like a dead horse.
Yeah.
That's the phrase you're looking for?
Beat it like a dead horse. Is it not flog?
No.
There's a flog somewhere. Probably sitting in the chair right now.
Yeah.
Next to me. But Solo gets tickled down through a smoking banana. And that is aggressive banana control if ever I've seen it from FlashGaming.
Well, they want to take it back off MVP, and Freeman is having his way with MVP right now. Zion and Zeph through the smoke. Runs straight into the headshot angle. Solo is going to try and creep up, but does not have the crosshair placement, and an attacker will take advantage of that. Little half second it takes Solo to readjust. MVP once again struggling in another gun round. An attacker almost gets a 2-man spray down. I've got to say, based on these Angels that we've been seeing so far, definitely feels as though FlashGaming are just a little ahead of MVP at the moment.
Attacker and Fancy and Angels, like, bring it. Any day of the week, they want that stuff. MVP, on the other hand, you know, they're usually getting everything going through coordination, teamwork, whatnot, and that's what makes them MVP. Fancy just taking his time leaving the spawn. Where MVP went wrong that round was that they just gave up banana control, and then they tried to work A a little bit early. Not to mention, yeah, they ran straight through a smoke in halls, which is exactly what Zion would do when he holds balcony.
Zion is typically very aggressive in halls, so can't fault you for that one. This is a little bit better on the B side, however, for MVP. As Flash won't get any success. Well, not a lot of success this time.
I want to see if Solo plants the bomb while sitting on the coffin, or if he's going to go further back. Okay, well, this is a really good bomb plant so far.
Oh, never mind.
Wow, that really didn't work out for Solo.
It should have, probably, but Zoking, maybe he spotted him out or predicted it, but regardless, the kill goes his way. Zion will clothesline him.
Oh!
And Glow gets Freeman as well. But this is still winnable for Lovey. Apparently not, though, as he pushes the smoke and MVP come away with a victory. Looked dangerous after that bomb plant was denied.
Yeah, trying to stop that corpse reanimating as well. No love lost between these two teams. And, well, that was a turnaround. I thought Glow was the one that got that kill, but it was actually Zion from Banana getting the kill out coffins. And I think the UMP running close range is what ended Lovey, so it caught him off guard a little bit. And, just as I said, the fear of being reset, and it's happened.
Those 2 gun rounds looked so good for Flash, but
yeah,
MVP responds quite quickly.
Well, I mean, the 2 gun rounds that they won, I guess, what? they had 2 players alive for one and 4 for the other, or 3 for the other. Yep. So that's where their money went, and they didn't invest in anything cheaply.
No, certainly not. They had everything that they could really want. Crossfire on the B site once again. Just the pistols this time.
Yeah, clear out that boost with that nice molly that we made back when I was still playing.
This map didn't exist when you were still playing.
No? Yeah, remember the comeback?
I don't.
Good, neither do I.
Better for both of us that way, I think. And let's see, Flash not really achieving a whole lot here. A bit of damage, but again, we've spoken about it. Damage doesn't matter if you can't convert that kill. So MVP, once again, will make their way into B.
Lovey has all the things he needs to make a recipe for a good 4K Deagle clip. He's got the Blazing Deagle. But it ain't gonna happen. Know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. Might have a chance to get some exit frags, though, as it does seem as though MVP will be filtering out in this direction. Zion certainly suspects something. His spider senses are tingling. But here they come. See what Lovey can do. It's a good hot flash.
Wow.
Very aware MVP.
Yep.
They know all the tricks of the trade here on Inferno.
To me, that just implies an inherent knowledge about how FlashGaming play, Lovey's favourite tendencies, and as what you would expect from a team of this caliber as well.
Tactical pause for Flash here.
Tactical
Never mind.
pause.
Technical.
I was going to say, that's a surprise. A little bit early in the piece. It's also could be considered an eco. They might force buy here. They could still get some MP5s or UMPs on a couple of the players. As long as Fancy and Attacker have guns, I would have full confidence in it being a standard issue round.
Yeah, they can definitely make it work.
Could you imagine this game if it had better graphics?
In what regard? What do you mean?
Well, just like the Unreal Engine or something like that, where it's like got reflections and all this.
I don't think people would like that.
Better decals. I don't know.
The thing about FPSs is that a lot of players are going to want a bland map so that they can spot their opponent easier.
Yeah, I mean, that could be also fixed by having correct lighting or having models, you know,
that stand out.
That stand out, like, you know, something like Crossfire. The models there, you know, there's no spots where you can just hide.
Yep.
And be black, you know. So, whereas you've got this, even though you've got that cubby at the back of the site there, you've got that light there. I don't know, man. It's got a the question I'm asking, I guess, is would it have a added bonus to the gameplay? You know, would it make things look cooler when you do awesome things, like awesome moves?
I mean, I think there's always something to be said for having good graphics in a certain game, but I don't think that CS necessarily has bad graphics.
Yeah, but like I look at CS and the graphic level I see is like Call of Duty 2, which is, I guess, what, 100 years old?
Quite old, yes.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's good, but it's
not modern.
It's not modern at all, and I think that's an issue for me. But otherwise,
time for another Counter-Strike, you reckon?
Well,
how old is CS:GO now?
4 years.
Oh, surely it's at least 5.
I think the beta came out in 2012. So 2013 is when we formed.
Now.
We formed Vox in 2013. So yeah, that'll explain a lot, won't it? So yeah, 6 years. 6-year-old game on a 10-year-old engine. Because this is just the Source 2 engine, I think. Max, Source 1, Source 2, something like that. Can't remember if it actually got ported to
pretty sure
Source
this is
2.
just Source.
Yeah, this is just Source as well.
Yeah.
So,
which was, you look back at, well, everything really was on Source.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like that much of an upgrade. But that being said, still a terrific game. And that's just because of the rules, the games.
Mechanics. It's the mechanics.
Yeah, what do we call it? The game mode, I guess. The mechanics, everything is inherent.
Well,
from the
I
rules.
think you could port the game mode into another game.
The thing is, if the rules weren't made this way, we wouldn't have the Counter-Strike we have today. If we didn't have max rounds 15, if we didn't have $800 start money, if we didn't have 1 minute 45 rounds, it's the rules that made the game what it is. Because You can play casual till the cows come home, and it's boring.
Well, I think there are certain nuances as well to CS that you kind of have to think about, like the movement and the grenade physics and that kind of thing. That are done much better than other FPS games.
It's always going to be a point of contention as well with the grenade physics. Do we want grenades to have surface area impact or damage like in 1.6? Then you'll have people who throw grenades at walls and you damage them through walls, and like that's kind of not really fair, is it? And then you have wall banging. But for me, the biggest problem I always had with CSGO was the movement and also the tapping. You couldn't, because I was in 1.6, I would burst or I'd spray or whatever, and if that didn't work out, I would tap, or vice versa. In CSGO, it feels like there really is only one way to play, and that's burst or spray. You know, even Scream had to come back away from tapping because it wasn't really working out. It looks cool and it gets you a kill or two or a clutch or two, but when you're getting rushed by a full execute, you can't be trying to go for the one taps because you just will miss out on kills.
Yep.
And so for me, like that's a big problem in the mechanics. And then also I never really fell in love with CSGO's movement because in 1.6 you would do AD strafe between shots, not during. You know, you couldn't get away with shooting before you stopped, otherwise your aim would be bad. So, yeah, and like you see now with the pistols, it is literally AD while they're shooting and clicking, and no one's really aiming. You just put your crosshair somewhere, and when you get into that strafe war, which I believe we saw even in the pistol round for this match, you're just hoping that they walk into your crosshair sometimes. But then you get the inherently good players who click or flick onto the player. You know, we talk about good pistol players for some teams all around the world. But yeah, I mean, that's just one of the things I wish Counter-Strike sort of could address. But man, this game is getting old. I mean,
look, everyone has got their own opinions, I'm sure, on what needs to be fixed and what they would prefer the game to be like. Some people are probably going to say CSGO is the perfect game. Will
we ever have the perfect game?
I don't think it's possible, to be honest. There's always going to be something that someone doesn't like for some reason or another. If anyone's wondering what's going on right now, it is a technical pause. FlashGaming have got a computer issue that they're trying to sort out, but looks as though that has been cleared up right about now, so that's good to see.
I think you won't ever have one perfect game, but you want to have like a circuit of games. I think like Rainbow Six, Counter-Strike, Quake covers off a couple of different things that people could like from each game. Raw skill in Counter-Strike and raw skill in Quake is just fantastic to watch.
Definitely. I'd be quite excited if I were to be able to cast one of those games. But anyway, it's going to be back into Flash versus MVP here. The qualifiers for Chicago.
Force buy from FlashGaming here. They're very far up on the mid wall as well. Oh.
Well, no success from the force buy, unfortunately, Ian.
I just don't know how they do it. Oh,
hello. A little bit of success, but not enough for FlashGaming to really have a chance in this round.
That's some interesting deagle work there by Freeman. And MVP very quickly take control of this round with some very nice teamwork. That's coordination. That's dry runs. Put that in your strat book if you want to get up mid-wall fast. Through an enemy smoke as well, mind you.
Yeah, pretty straightforward stuff for MVP. 6-2. And FlashGaming don't overinvest in that last round. It does mean that they can still buy here. You could argue that they could have saved and had a little bit of extra utility.
It's
maybe
just good money management, right? Good money management.
But they still get a great buy through here.
Yep.
What's Attacker going to go for? Just the M4?
Yeah, I feel like he thought about it.
Yeah.
You know what Attacker's like. W key, any gun, get a kill, fall back. Sometimes. Fall back sometimes.
Keep going, press W sometimes.
Yep.
MVP again look like they want to make their way into the B site.
They must have some information that says that FlashGaming rarely stacks B with 3 players. And if they do, then they take banana control. Otherwise, it is just this. And that's not really a tradable kill there for Summer. And well. We were talking about the aim duels not working out.
No.
And now they are.
Well, that seems like a long time ago, doesn't it? FlashGaming.
Oh.
nothing seems to be connecting.
Just
really.
can't catch them by surprise right now. They're just hitting everything. It'd be wise for these two guys to save. And the hunt is already on. Solo's all over it.
Well, Solo's probably the player, or one of the players that's been around the longest in this game.
Yeah.
So he knows exactly what he needs to be doing.
I think he did. Yeah.
He did. He's, hey, anyone on stream? I saw that.
You don't need to speak Korean to understand that language. Oh.
Definitely not. Not sure that he's going to get up there in time, and Freeman might not give him the opportunity. So
who's that in boiler?
One gun will survive.
Yeah.
Only the 1M4 through, though, for this round, so really up to Freeman to make some magic happen. Lovey and Attacker, I guess they must have DC'd based on their scoreline there, so that must have been what the technical pause was for. But MVP are having a pretty good time on this T side. Not a bad shot from Attacker. Seems like Solo didn't spot him out because of the Molotov, and soaking 2 kills with the 5-7. And MVP, all of a sudden, things start to look a little bit more dire for them, luckily enough. None of those guns are retrievable for FlashGaming, but still, player advantage for that CT side right now. And MVP have some thinking to do. In particular, Zeph and Zine have that thinking to do.
Well, this scoreline looks a little bit scary. If you're FlashGaming, you'll be thanking the lucky stars that you've got a few more maps in your back pocket.
Most definitely.
7 rounds now, 8 rounds on the T side if they can secure this 2v2. It's going to be 2v1 here at the A site.
Someone with the CZ, however, quite close. Potential for the multi-frag. Even one here would be great. Not going to get the opportunity. Zeph sharp on the shot, the headshot as well to boot. That'll be the bomb planted on this site now for MVP. Attacker is going to be able to find an AK. So he has a couple of options. Can try and save the AK through, or go for this retake. Decides to grab the AWP, and that will most definitely be the safe choice for FlashGaming now. But it's got to be a bit of pill to swallow now as you're giving the 8th round over to MVP on that T side. And we do know MVP's choice of map was Inferno, and it typically is their choice of map. But regardless, it is still a difficult one for FlashGaming here, it seems. And in the past, these two teams do have a lot of history on this map. But MVP today are coming out ahead.
Well, is this what you expected, Jordan? I do think
No.
this is MVP's map, but I didn't think it would be this much MVP's map. It can be a pretty difficult side to get the ball rolling again, the CT side, if your economy is down. So sometimes you do see these T sides blow out, but then, you know, you switch over and the other team has their chance and they do the same. So it's not over yet, but if you see MVP get anywhere near 10 rounds, it's going to be very difficult to secure the rest of this out. But we know what they're like on their CT side anyway.
Yeah, well, they are quite near to 10 rounds as it is right now. Soaking, though, he's not having any of it this time. Push down Banana, that might actually be the undoing of Flash here as Zeph punishes Attacker. He's only on 7 HP, however, and Summer decides to back off with that AWP. Fair enough. A little bit more of a defensive choice, a little bit more of a safe choice.
Oh, it's looking better already. Except they're a bit spread out, aren't they? I mean, this group work from MVP now. Zeph, he's just making noise for the approach to cover Glow and Sign. If you're in the CT side, you hear an AWP down the end of Banana spamming away. You're thinking, yeah, nothing's about to happen. It might even be a fake. They're going to head towards A. That's why there's still 2 players close. But now you know the jig is up.
Yeah, the slow peek around the corner, that's not going to work out at all for Zine. But you got to get that knife out of your hand, Summer. Not sure what's going on there, but he does not hear Glow.
That was really nicely done by Glow. And that's because he already had so much territory by the time that Zion got spotted and ultimately killed and used it perfectly. 2 versus 2.
Lovey has some pretty good territory here as well. No smoke to
Oh,
keep him at bay. Zeph's got no idea. Lovey connects the shot, and it's a 1v2 now for Glow. The pop flash comes through, and Glow has two separate angles to watch. He can't figure out which way to look. And FlashGaming will secure another round here on the CT side, a desperately needed one at that.
For MVP, it's just damned if you do, damned if you don't. You either hold the site or you hold banana. Zeph, low HP as it is, and they get in, they get the bomb down. That's great for them. But the retake coming in, Glow knew immediately it was a 1v2. They're both coming from separate angles. At that point, Glow needs to make a decision. He needs to go, you know? Either he goes CT or he goes towards the coffin player. But
Find the 1v1.
Find the 1v1. Unfortunately, didn't do that and gets pincered pretty well. I think maybe from versing teams like SC Absolute maybe made him a little complacent there.
Potentially.
Just hoping he didn't get checked, you know? It's not good enough.
Here's another chance for Flash. Attacker is going to be almost overwhelmed. Somehow he still survives, but he's only able to get a one. The flashbangs just everywhere. Both teams seem to be flashed at that point, but MVP come out with the advantage.
That is brutal as well, because you look at that, it's so hard to find the 1%ers. Secondly, FlashGaming reset again. It's literally worst case scenario for these guys right now.
They're not getting a foothold at all in the CT side.
Well, it's good to see the best side of it, MVP that we've seen in a while.
Well, we talked about it at the very start of these qualifiers. MVP only need to play as well as they need to at any given time.
Imagine being, I want to say this, like imagine being so good that you have two separate gears. That one is just for seal clubbing and one is for real matches. Imagine being that good. I'm not sure if MVP are that good. I feel like we could be giving them too much credit.
That's always such a hard question to answer.
Yeah, that's right.
So like, who do I give credit to here? Do I give credit to the team that's winning?
Yeah.
Or do I give credit to, well, do I not give credit to the team that's losing? Do you know what I mean?
Or, like, and plus this is the first half, you know, there's every opportunity that FlashGaming come back, you know, in the second half.
Well, it's definitely going well for MVP at the moment, so credit where credit is due. Up 9-3. Couldn't have really asked for much of a better start to this one, especially considering they start with a map disadvantage, given that they came through the lower bracket. And they could be on their way to equalizing that, and they are on their way to equalizing that at the moment. But the question becomes now, how many rounds can they actually get out of this T side? Because for all the MVP matches that I've watched, and there has been quite a lot of them, you do often see quite a decent first half, but then it kind of turns into quite a long match in the end. Turns out 16-14, 16-13, something like that. So MVP going to be looking for as many rounds as possible here.
We're all too familiar with the MVP close match.
To make it as easy as possible to close out the map.
Summer, far down mid, fish out of water. Oh, well. MVP looking pretty comfortable right now. Pretty loose, pretty fluid. Just waltzing around the map, not seeming to feel any of the pressure of the best of 5 map disadvantage that they have.
Well, if they intend to win 3-0, that's okay with them, I suppose.
Oh, I don't know. Inferno, sure, I can see that going the way of MVP, but the other maps?
Well, that's a nice little flick from Solo, but he is still going to get overwhelmed by the numbers on that A bomb site. Shouldn't matter too much in the grand scheme of things here. MVP will be unlucky to lose another player. Attacker looks like he'll go through the smoke, but Zeph waiting for it. And the bomb plant to come for MVP.
I don't know what that is. That's I think MVP are a little bit happy at the moment. You can just do you ever watch a game, Jordan, and think they look happy? Do you think can you read that? Does that ever transcend?
I think it's hard for me to put that into perspective, given that I've never played in a competitive team.
It's one of those things. It just transcends the game. You can see when they're happy, when they're running around and everything is just going their way. They loosen up a little bit, and sometimes that makes teams even more dangerous. But just the way they're just running around, clicking, they're very happy with themselves right now.
I guess that's a good sign early on in the piece for MVP. MiniZeta back onto the AWP. We had questions whether it was going to be Solo or MiniZeta to be taking the majority of that AWP role, but so far in these qualifiers it mostly has been MiniZeta. We've seen a little bit from Solo, but that's not too often at all.
It doesn't seem to be a big part of their game plan, to be honest. It does seem like more of a 5-man execute game plan. Maybe Zion as a lurk, You factor in an AWP in that. That's only 3 people really with AKs busting into the site. So whatever it is, this game so far, MVP have made it work. Last round of the half, no utility left for FlashGaming. As soon as this smoke comes out, the push will come in fast.
Wonka does well to get one, but Mini Zeta is going to be good enough for the trade. Smoke's down.
You know what? This is very much like Tai Lu at this point. Do you ever watch Tai Lu and just see them take both bomb sites? That's literally what MVP nearly did just then. They sent 2 towards B, and if they had luck, they were going to go B. If they didn't have luck, they had 3 ready to go A. Bit of resistance here from FlashGaming.
Well, they're going to need a little bit more. Lovey might have a little bit of a trouble ahead of him, but the smoke to go down here will cut off Glow and that other player, which is Zion in the banana, but Lovey has no idea the positioning of Solo, and that'll be a straightforward kill for him. Freeman, again, on his own, and this doesn't look like it's going to be too kind on him at all, as even despite the smoke, Glow is going to be able to find the frag. 11 is up for MVP. The force to come in the final round here for FlashGaming, but this might be the best T-side we've seen from MVP in these qualifiers so far.
I have seen them go 11-4 and still go to overtime, so that's always a concern. But yeah, that last round definitely was a buzzkill. MVP just getting both, just dominating that B-bomb site. Attacker and Summer, I would expect better from them. And, well, so far this game, they've been struggling. The no respect play coming out from MVP, but hey, they invented it. I think they might just be on the lookout for it.
Yeah, certainly. FlashGaming aren't going to be getting away with too much here. Solo will go down to Freeman, unfortunately, for MVP, but Mini setting himself up with a little bit of a firing line.
Triple banana. Bombs very far back. They're just going to let this happen as well, aren't they? Zion is the man to really figure things out for MVP. If that is him sitting over by carpets, I believe it is, yep.
19 and 5. Zion's been having a very good map so far.
Lovey, 3 and 6. He must have timed out.
He did time out, yeah. Of that big long pause from FlashGaming. Well, Zion adds another one to his tally.
Wow. Sometimes you just can't go wrong. Zion sits in the same spot for a minute. They build it and they will come, I suppose. Oh, this is a weak crossfire.
And that is going to be proven correct, Ian. Zeph gets both, and 12-3 at the end of the first half. And MVP in a commanding position now. Pistol and it's done.
Yeah, precisely. A lot of weight on this pistol. MVP are the kind of team that, well, they could throw it away, doing something aggressive towards middle. Do the MVP mid-rush. Or they could just take it easy. Sit back, relax. Let FlashGaming dictate the pace, just for one round. See if you can bait them into some sort of stack or a crossfire. Some heavy ordnance there.
Something that that FlashGaming might need to win this map.
Yeah.
Because they are up against dire straits right now. It looked for the first couple of gun rounds like FlashGaming was really going to be putting a great contest to MVP here on Inferno, but...
And that was it. That was it.
It's disappeared.
It was like MVP were like, oh, you just want to go for aim duels, huh? Okay. All right.
Solo very aggressive. He's on his own here on the A site, and that's something that MVP do time and time and time again.
Uh-oh.
Is they leave Solo on his own, but around the world go FlashGaming, and that is the incorrect read because the A site is very, very open, and the B bomb site very, very defended. Zeph, as of yet, has not spotted anything, but Solo most certainly would have heard the information that FlashGaming was headed toward the A site, and given that they have not planted yet, MVP is on the lookout for that rapid to B.
Do you ever just trick yourself into losing? I think that's what FlashGaming are about to do if they do commit to this CT to B. Solo's on the hunt for some info. I mean, I can appreciate you've gotten here, you've gotten this far, FlashGaming, and you're just thinking, what's next? Surely somebody's coming, right? Surely someone's going to rotate between the sites, but someone's not really doing anything at Banana to warrant that.
Yeah, and MVP have got the info that they need, and here comes the play. Could be all on Zeph here, and he does get the first headshot. The second as well lined up by him, and that is enough done. The rest of the work falls on the shoulders of the other MVP players, and FlashGaming, they've played themselves a little bit.
It's that moment where you find out there's more than 2 people here and your heart sinks and you're like, yeah. The one thing we could have done wrong.
And we did it wrong.
We did it. Well, Freeman has to fight his way out of this wet paper bag. It's not going to happen.
Well, 13-3, pissed around the way of MVP in the second half as well.
This was going to be one of the most exciting games I've commentated in a while, Jordan. This is the equivalent to a national final for me, you know. And so far, well, it's been a little exciting.
Lots on the line as well.
Tons on the line. An international trip for an Asian team to finally put them on the map internationally, beat someone, maybe beat MIBR. Maybe.
Probably not.
Well, you never know. They got a new coach.
Only Australian teams can do that.
Yeah, right. That was a surprise.
That was indeed. But MVP are, not surprisingly, having a good one here on Inferno.
Solo sticking to the UMP. Tried and tested, I suppose. I expected a little bit more MP5 usage, but...
Although well aware of the timing there for Zoking. And this A site play doesn't look like it's going to work out too nicely for FlashGaming at all. Utility being thrown in there by MVP as well, just to delay a little bit more. They will be overwhelmed by the numbers, but Zion hasn't shown his cards just yet. So he should get at least one here, which he'll be able to do.
Oh, dear.
But a 3 versus 3, an attacker is going to be checked.
How do they get away with the jump peaks all the time, Jordan? It's fascinating.
SMGs, mate. They make it work.
I'll die before my feet touch the ground.
Unfortunate now for Zeph in the 1v1. Is he going to run out of ammo? Did he? I don't know what happened there. It seemed like he stopped firing.
Yeah. Did he hit his keyboard or something? Like, that's so benign. You don't usually see that from Zion. And it's like he thought he already got the kill. That's what it actually looked like.
Well, he was quite far off getting the kill.
Well, that's just not good at all, because that's going to allow FlashGaming back into this one. MVP know better than to spend up too big this round. Just the pistols. Don't want to go down that slippery slope that you and I have coined the phrase.
Well, that puts a bit of a spanner in the works here for the dream run on Inferno of MVP.
It's always funny when you go, because the mic doesn't pick it up, but I can hear it. But for some reason, it always picks up mine.
Because you make the a bit louder.
Your is still loud. I can hear it over the headphones.
Well,
so
the more you know.
The more you know. No one else hears your Maybe that's a good thing.
Maybe. FlashGaming into the B site right now, and no resistance being posed by MVP there.
That hurt to watch. That was criminal.
I'm sure it hurt if you're one of those B site players. Low does actually get a nice shot there onto Freeman, but that's perhaps the only success that MVP will find in this round. Solo's on an adventure still on the A bomb site.
What do you think, mate?
I think it's just a matter of time before MVP closes this map out.
Oof.
I don't see FlashGaming coming back from 13-3.
Oof. I'm waiting for that video now on Reddit. I don't think they could do it. Bow, 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 dun, 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 bow, 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 bow. And then it'll be slowly coming back.
Yeah.
We've seen it happen too many times. It's scarred.
That would be less
of
a slight on me and more of a slight on MVP PK at that point, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, it's not like they're going to go on Reddit and have a look at it.
Just another eco out for MVP. So we have to wait a little bit before this game really gets back underway.
I remember I tried getting all yellow skins. I've got the buzzkill that had the fuel injected. Those were the days. Skins, huh?
Yeah.
People still care.
Some do, some don't.
Not I.
All Flash want is the A-bomb site right now. And they're going to get it.
Well, and a 6th round, I guess. The thing is, MVP are offering up little resistance, which is going to make it hard to reset the economy of FlashGaming, and a good opportunity for them. If FlashGaming was to YOLO next round with a couple of Mac 10s and a Galil to China buy, classic China buy, then even if they did lose the bonus round, you know what happens after that. Then we see exactly what MVP did to FlashGaming, another reset, and then another reset, and then another one. Next thing you know, it's 13-13. You and I are in tears. Just catastrophe. What do you think's going to happen this round? Well,
Goodbye, that's
I
for sure.
just saw the guns come in.
Double AWP?
Yep.
No.
No.
Single AWP.
No,
Solo.
you won't see a double AWP because it's the first gun round. That will set there. That'll just be terrible. That'll be terrible.
Well, I saw Solo by the AWP and I was like, oh, okay, hang on, hold the press. Maybe Solo's going to go secondary AWP here. But it makes sense. He is the B player.
What I meant to say was it's obviously going to be a banana take from MVP. We'll see if they clash heads here. And they will.
Oh, Zeph has pushed through the Molotov and that has caught Lovey off guard. The flashbang was good for him, of course.
Yep.
Definitely a better start to this gun round for MVP than their last.
Now we just wait. MVP rotate back towards A. And heavily as well. It's going to have 4 players here very quickly. The flash comes in. Beautiful work. Beautiful teamwork from MVP. Just securing that free frag at the cost of a flashbang.
2 kills off the back of 1 flashbang. Well, 2 flashbangs.
Yep.
For MVP. 1 each. And that puts them in a great spot to potentially get 1 step closer.
Well, that'll be what, 14-6, and doesn't that always look great? 14, you know, it's a terrible number for Aussie teams, but when you get it and you have a single-digit enemy team, it always feels inevitable after that.
25-9. It's been a great map for Zion.
Yeah, he's definitely come into his own, having a bit of a Ben Kai moment.
Looking forward to having a look back at the stats of this qualifier and seeing who really had the most impact for each team.
I mean, considering it's an online qualifier as well, that always brings its own challenges. And just to see who rises to the occasion once we get to the end. And considering, like we said, I mean, MVP have played 2 extra maps than FlashGaming. They never versed each other, so the stats will be quite good in that regard, because you're not putting each other down. And they've all won all their respective games.
Up to this point. Someone's got to lose here.
Yep. You just need those, I don't know, they must throw 2 HE grenades, one towards the tree and one towards the back corner. That means Lovey is on 56 HP instead of a potential, 6 HP. It's all about the HE grenades. That's why you throw the Molotovs to keep them at bay. You put them in your playpen, and then you HE them. That being said, it can be dangerous because if the enemy team knows that's what you're up to, they'll just push through your Molotovs and get you with a grenade out. So it's not like MVP haven't thought it through. Mini Zeta holding jungle now. Good setup across the board here. You can flash for dig. You can flash for carpet. Mini Zeta can ask for a flash from Zion. Just like the previous rounds. Here it comes, maybe? No? Okay. Is someone going to do it?
There it is. It works out well for Mini Zeta, even though it didn't look like Zoking was hit by that flashbang. But Mini Zeta, 2 kills. Well, fantastic work.
He would have turned, right? And that would be sometimes enough just to jig your aim off.
Absolutely. Zion up on the balcony as well has been a bit of a menace from there so far for FlashGaming.
Oh, Mini Zeta.
But this is really Mini Zeta's round. Zion is going to clean up the final 2. And 15 is up. Map point now for MVP.
Didn't even let the bodies hit the floor then. Beautiful work. MVP have come into their own in this match. Well, now I feel justified talking them up so much.
This is where you want to see MVP. Well, I suppose this is how you want to see MVP looking.
Well, if you're an MVP fan.
I think if you're a fan of Asian CS in general.
I'd like to see what Blair has to say, to be honest.
I don't know if he's even a fan of Asian CS anymore at this point.
No, I think it's like, remember when Moses was a fan of NACS?
Yeah.
And he just believed and believed and believed. And then eventually he lost hope, and then they became good?
Yeah.
It could be that.
Could be.
It's kind of like when you lose your hair.
That's a bit rude.
What? Oh, okay, no. I wasn't going back to that. I was talking about something else. But, like, you lose your hair, you think you're losing it. You're like, oh, my God. It's the stress of losing it that makes you lose your hair.
Well, MVP, perhaps a stressful round ahead of them here because the B site not going to to be so easy to hold on to. Zeph, what? He gets one through the smoke, and Mini Zeta does survive against Zoking. It's a 2-for-1 trade already. Mini Zeta, another kill for him. Runs out of ammo, but Zeph, I don't know where that kill came from. And now it's a 2v1. That was a ludicrous B push from FlashGaming and a ludicrous B defense
When
from
is
MVP.
Mini Zeta going to evolve
How did that happen?
into
Alpha Zeta.
Daddy Zeta?
Daddy Zeta. Puppy Zeta. Puppy Chulo. Well, Summer tasked with the 1 versus 2. He's been spotted out now by Solo. Zion just sitting back there on the bomb. But this is
that's
not
what it's
looking
called.
so easy, actually, for MVP. Solo's not the one that you want in that position. Zion does look like he's got the defuse down in time. And that'll be it. MVP closing out map 1. And this series starts to get a little bit more exciting from that, doesn't it? We're at 1 apiece now. Inferno goes the way of MVP, but there are still 3 maps to play.
Well, I did say Inferno, in my mind, that's an MVP map every day of the week. Flash, though, they looked really off. They looked really off. Coming into Cash, though, you watch. They'll just forget about everything, and they'll come out hot. I think they're starting CT side on Cash. It's their map pick, so that's where they're going to need to do better than they just did then on their CT side.
Yeah, certainly lots to be said about that map in the favor of MVP and not a lot to be said in the favor of Flash. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's the way the entire series is going to go. Guys, we're going to head to a break, but we do have, like I said, more maps coming up. This is a crazy, crazy matchup, and the winner of this does go to IEM Chicago. So don't go anywhere. We're finding out later on down the track who is going to be going to that event.